Hi everyone, how's it going? My name's Lena and welcome to my garden. I've been up since 6 a.m. this morning to water my garden to prepare it for some serious heat that's about to happen today. We're kind of going through a bit of a heat wave right now in Zone 8, west coast of Washington. Temperatures have been up in the high 90s for the last couple of days and it's probably going to persist throughout the weekend according to the forecast. So I am out here trying to give my garden a good soak to prepare it for the situation. So I've been doing that for the last hour, and for me to get done with everything back and front is probably gonna take about 2.5 hours. So I'd like to take a break in between right now to show you guys some of the beautiful blooms that I've been enjoying in the month of July. Plus, I think looking at flowers in the morning light is really gorgeous. So I'd like to enjoy that together with you. July, like mid-July to late July, maybe like to early August, I consider this kind of like a slow period in my garden because the first flushes of the roses are pretty much done. The second flushes are coming out, but they're kind of sporadic. My oriental lilies have not fully come out to play. My dahlias are still forming their leaves and things. So, you know, the late summer and early fall blooms are not yet out. But there are still some beautiful flowers for us to see, and we'll walk around my little garden to see them together. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce you to my blood good Japanese maple tree, which I really love. I planted this tree 2 seasons ago, so it's been in ground for about 2 years now. When I first bought it, it was about my height, so like 5 feet. I'm 5'5". And right now this beautiful tree is standing at 6.5 feet or maybe even 7 feet tall. It's a bit of a slow grower, but it's totally worth it because it is so beautiful. It's one of my favorite in the garden for sure. My blood good Japanese maple. Alright, we'll start with this brand new flower bed that I dug up early in March this year, and I call this my Underworld. So it's supposed to represent the underworld from the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. So it's full of hot colors like bright red, bright orange, yellows, and you know, all things in between. These are my Shasta daisies that I planted, actually that I transplanted from other parts of my garden. I've had them for about 3 years now. These are 2 plants right here. And that one's pretty much done, but this one's still blooming. It's gorgeous. I love daisies. They are such cheerful flowers. And right next to them on this side, I have red dahlia, and this is a single flower, which I think goes beautifully next to the daisies. And then another dahlia, but this one is yellow and it's a little bit smaller. And over here we have coreopsis. I believe this is a variety called Little Bang Darling Clementine Coreopsis. It's a bit of a long name, but it's gorgeous. It's like yellow on the tips and like bright orange in the center with the yellow button. It's a really beautiful flower. This is actually a division that I took from its mother plant, which is this one here. The mother plant. I have 2 more coreopsis in this section. There's one there. So this one is looking a little small this year because it got divided. And then I have another one right there. Coreopsis. Alright. Let's come back to this bed. Right here I have a burgundy sedum. There are 2 plants in here, and these little bright annuals are celosia. I think that's what they're called. I keep forgetting the name of this really bright flowers here. And I have a couple of dahlias that are coming up. I planted a few bulbs in this bed. So dahlias are something that are kind of new to my life. I only had I started with one dahlia bulb in my yard last year, and I really liked the flowers, and I looked into more dahlias, and this year I ordered more bulbs, but I still have to read up on how to take care of them. So I guess that's gonna be my reading today. Back here I have some gladiolas, which is really nice and bright yellow and orange, which I think looks really good in this bed. It really serves the purpose of this being the underworld, because that's like the color of fire. And back here I have some roses that I planted from bare roots just this year. So there are first year roses. On the left I have Golden Celebration, which is completely done with its first and second flush. And here I have Lady of Shalott. Lady of Shalott is such a beautiful rose. It's like soft apricot color. And I love how, like, I love the shape of this rose as well. It's kind of growing upright and tall, and not very wide, but like I would say like more tall than wide. But then again, you know, like it's first year, so it's a baby still. And then on the right here we have Molyneux, which is a creamy yellow rose, also from David Austin. A nice, lovely fragrance. So that is my hot color bed, my Underworld. Now, on the opposite side, I have a bunch of pinks and purples and light blues and whites. So I call this my upper world, also from the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. So full of pinks in here. I have a couple of roses in here. This one is Gabriel Oak. Gabriel Oak is a bright pink rose. It's really gorgeous and smells, oh, really sweet fragrance. Gabriel Oak and we have a history, because I almost killed this rose, guys. I planted it here and I didn't realize like that my soil was super clay and compacted. So this rose, I mean, when I planted it, I amended the soil to the best of my ability, but it still wasn't enough. And when I came back out 2 weeks after I planted this bare root, I discovered that it'd been sitting in a waterlogged soil for more than 2 weeks, and all the leaves were turning yellow and it was pretty much dying. You know, I panicked at first, but then I quickly realized that I had to do something about it. So I dug it up, and then I amended the soil more. I dug up the hole probably like 3 to 4 times bigger than the original hole, and I amended the soil like crazy, and I planted it again, and it decided to come back to life, sprouting new leaves, sprouting new like green leaves. I was so happy. But compared to its friends, like that one for example, this one is Eustacia V. It is Eustacia V is a lot taller than Gabriel Oak. So I think I stunted its growth a little bit by having it sit in a waterlogged soil for 2 weeks. But the fact that it didn't die and it came back to life, I have a special relationship with this rose. It's definitely got a special place in my heart. So Eustacia V is pretty much done with its first and second flush. Also the same thing with Ancient Mariner. But right here we have some blooms still. This is Rose of Sharon. Forget the variety's name, but I will make sure that when I edit this video, I'm gonna put all the plant names that I forget on the screen, just in case, you know, just for your information. So this Rose of Sharon, I really like it because when it first starts to bloom, it is really pink, like nice true pink, with a little bit of red in the center, and when the flower starts to fade, it turns purple like this. So in one plant you have 2 shades, pink and purple, which is perfect for this bed. That's exactly what I want. Oh wow, look at these. I did not see these flowers yesterday, you guys. Well, actually, I didn't come out here yesterday. I came out like 3 days ago and I didn't see them. These are gorgeous. I love them. These are hollyhocks that I planted from bare roots. I love these. And I didn't even expect them to flower like in the first year, because I think I read somewhere that hollyhocks and foxgloves, like these are biennials and they only flower every other year. Oh man, I'm so happy. This is a good surprise. Alright, and in front of the hollyhocks I have some gladiolus bulbs that I also planted at the same time, and I feel like they're about to bloom here soon. Ooh, so excited. I also have some dahlias in here that are the colors of pinks and purples. Got some lavender there. I've got some beautiful flowers here, which again, I forget the name. This strange looking flower is an annual that I planted earlier this season. I think about 2.5 months ago or 3 months ago. It looks exotic to me. It looks like a little starburst. And here is Dusty Miller. Dusty Miller in the light, it's really beautiful. I love this wonderful foliage, and the flowers, if you let it grow to flower, you'll see that the flowers are like little clusters of little yellow flowers. It's kind of nice. And I've got some dianthus in here in the front, and back there I have some bright pink impatiens in there just to add a pop of color, and some little baby tiny coleus going on there. You know, in this heat, although it may not be great for a lot of the flowers, but coleus, like my coleus, is thriving in this hot weather. I guess they love it. Let me show you this hydrangea. So I kind of started a hydrangea bed along this side of my house, but it is very much a work in progress because I worked so hard on these 2 flower beds this year that I totally neglected this bed. I kind of ran out of juice, I'm not gonna lie. So it's full of weeds, and I have like bags of soil and mulch just kind of scattered around here, some cardboard boxes. This is not a pretty area at all right now. But let's just focus on this hydrangea, okay? So I planted this 3 years ago, and I didn't do anything to the soil to make it acidic or anything like that. So my hydrangea is it's like its natural color, so it's both pink and blue. And I find that hydrangea, you know, it's one of those plants that you really need to be patient with because it can take a while for the roots to get established. Like in the first year that I planted, the second year after that, it barely flowered at all, and it barely grew in size. And you know, for some of the gardeners out there that are super impatient, they might just, you know, think that it's not doing well. They might yank it out and, you know, throw it away or discard it. But if you give it time, and if you are a little patient with it, it'll come back year after year, and each year it'll grow like bigger in size and it'll produce more flowers. So I'm really glad that, you know, like I was patient with these guys. Like take a look at this one, for example. This is its 3rd season and it's still looking like this. And this is actually the first time that I've seen the flowers after 3 years of buying it. When I first bought it, it was beautiful, gorgeous pink flowers. So we'll see. What else? Oh, let's take a look at my rose right here. This is one of my favorite roses in the yard. This is Le Petit Prince, and Le Petit Prince is a lavender rose. So it's got like pinkish purplish pink blooms, and this rose is super vigorous in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd flush. which I really love. Take a look at these wonderful blooms. And they really make a really good cut flower as well, because of their long sturdy stems, and they last quite a while too in the vase, I find. This area I've kind of just let it grow a little wild, back there with some catmint and some weeds. And I have a red twig dogwood in here, which is a native plant. And right here I've got sweet bay magnolia, super baby tree, just planted last year. Alright, no blooms to see here, so let's walk back this way. Oh, the last lone bloom of rolled dow, which is a nice soft yellow, like soft apricot rose. But it's mostly done with its first and second flush. Right here I have a volunteer flower, which I didn't plant but decided to just show up in my yard. It's a red poppy, and it's kind of growing through my heavenly bamboo. Kind of pretty. Right here I have a climbing rose that I planted first year in March. This is Bathsheba. Bathsheba has a very soft, like apricot hue that is almost white now when the flower starts to fade. Bathsheba. And we've got some catmint right here. But what I'm really looking forward to, you guys, this year are these sunflowers. I planted them for the first time this year from seed, and I'm so curious as to how tall they'll grow and what the flowers will look like. The thing with gardening is when I'm planting something for the first time, that's a whole lot of anticipation, it's a whole lot of excitement, and I think that's what keeps me hooked, with gardening. Before this, I've had other hobbies before, but they never really stick because I don't know, but with gardening it's something special. Right here I have Bosco Bell. Bosco Bell is a rose also from David Austin. Pretty much done with its first and second flush. This is its first year, so it's still a tiny rose, but I really like the color of Bosco Bell. It's kind of like bright pink with like some orange hue to it. It's beautiful. And let's move to this side. Right back there I have a rose called Never Alone. Never Alone rose is a Canadian rose, I believe, and when I first planted it, it was barely like 8 to 10 inches tall, and right now it is sitting at almost 4 feet. My fence is 6 feet, so it's like 4 feet tall and wide, and the blooms are super abundant. As you can see, it blooms in clusters like that. It's got nice bright pink little flowers with white centers, and it blooms for a long time. Like, it started blooming I think about like early May, and right now it's end of July and it's still giving me color. So I really appreciate this rose. Right down here next to my Never Alone rose is my Oriental Lily, and this is a variety called Stargazer. They're pretty popular, so I'm sure you've seen them, or you might even have them in your garden. They are the fragrance is absolutely wonderful. This one, I came out here 2 days ago and I didn't see it, so I think it literally just opened today or yesterday. Let me sniff it real quick. Oh my goodness, wonderful smell. Look at the blooms of Never Alone rose. So these roses, I love them so much for how they look, but in terms of fragrance, they don't really have fragrance. Okay, And right here, I have another rose that I also planted this year, same time as I planted Bosco Bell. This is Emily Bronte. Emily Bronte is actually a light pink, like light apricot rose, but as the flower matures, it turns almost white. And I think this is their third flush or second flush, I'm not sure. And then some more gladiolas. I love the combination of pinks and purples, guys. And this is my favorite color of gladiolas. This soft pink, baby pink. And next to purple, I think it looks great. This purple is so deep and rich that it's almost dark. Like, it's almost black. And it's very velvety. It's really, really beautiful. Pinks and purples. I've got some red back there, and I have some more purple, kind of like reddish purple here. It's beautiful color as well. I really love these flowers, and they make great cut flowers. They look good in a vase. So good. Alright, so that's that section that receives really nice morning sun. This part of my yard will get about 2 to 3 hours of sun in the morning, like early morning. And then sun will come right behind my house there, and then it's gonna shine on this side of the yard. That's gonna receive like 6 to 8 hours of, sorry, no, maybe not 8, but like this section right here will get a good 5-6 hours of late morning sun. And then as the sun shifts over to that side, this area of my garden here on my patio will get afternoon sun for about 6 hours. So I'm really, really lucky that I have a garden that receives a good amount of sunlight all around. So it makes it really easy for me to grow pretty much whatever I like. And this part right here probably gets the least amount of sun, probably maybe like 3 to 4 hours, because as sun shifts over that direction in the evening, like it comes like right behind my neighbor's house, and it comes right there and it shines right onto here. So my hydrangea, perfect for my hydrangeas because they get about like 4 hours of like evening sun. And like apparently they're doing really, really well here together with my hostas. So in this like shady area of the yard, I keep my hostas and my hydrangeas. So much work to do in the garden. Sometimes I look at my garden and I feel tired already. Anyway, let me take you to the front of the yard, and then we'll call it a day. Oh, before we go to the front, let me show you this tree real quick. This is my phantom hydrangea, or Hydrangea paniculata, in a tree form. And it's, although it's not like in full bloom, but it's like already like blooming quite a bit. Let's take a look at these beautiful flowers. Oh, I love this tree. Love this tree. And I have something to show you too. Last year I took a cutting, well actually not a cutting, it was like a sucker that came out from the root of this tree, and I stuck it in soil, and look what it gave me. It's the same tree in a shrub form. I guess if I have the skill to, I could trade it into a tree form, but I'm pretty sure I don't have that skill, so I'm happy with just having a shrub. This is a free phantom hydrangea shrub that I got from that tree there. I am super proud of myself, guys. As a beginner gardener, I'm doing all right. Okay, let's go to the front. Oh, I have some more roses that I want to show you here. Guys, this is, so this is I know that's the Princess something, but this is for sure Princess Alexandra of Kent. I know this rose because I've had it for 2 years now, and I love this rose so much. This is its second flush, and it's still as gorgeous as the first flush, and as abundant, I would say. Smells lovely too. Princess Alexandra of Kent, and if I remember correctly, this is Princess Anne. You know what? I don't want to guess. I will go back inside and look at the tag, and I will put that up on the screen when I edit this video. Kind of like a very similar color to Princess Alexandra of Kent, but a bit smaller bloom. Alright. And right here I have my Cape Harris magnolia tree, which is kind of giving out some flowers. Take a look at the flowers of this tree. It's very creamy white, and it's quite large actually. If I can get this one to unfurl. There you go. And the smell. Oh my goodness, smells so good. Whew, so happy. This tree is one of my favorites. Also, right next to Bloodgood Japanese maple. Cape Harris magnolia. It's got quite a few flowers this year. The other day I came out and I counted like 13 to 14 flowers, and the flowers kind of look like this. It's kind of like a cone shaped, you know, like light green in color at first, and right before it's about to open it'll turn really white like this, and then this is what you'll get. I'm gonna do an update on this tree later because I did a video on this tree before in the past, and I said that it's a super fast growing tree, and it still is. Last year it was about 6 feet, and right now it's almost like 8 feet. Okay, I think we're done with the backyard. Oh, let me show you my coleus real quick. I keep saying, okay, we're done, let's go to the front, but we're still here. Sorry guys, I'm all over the places. My coleus that I grew from cuttings from last year, it's doing really well. It's, for some reason, like it's loving this heat. And that's my this is my knockout roses, which is really bright, and I love the fact that it's, you know, it's given me a pop of color in July, which, you know, I consider, like I said, a pretty slow month in my garden, but this rose is popping. Here I have some annual dahlias that I grow in this cute container. This is my pinks and purples area here. And then I have a couple more coleus in containers that I keep here. I'm loving my coleus this year. Alright, now we're really done with the backyard. Let's go to the front. For real now. Okay. So this is a narrow bed that I have along my driveway, and in here I have 2 roses, also from David Austin. This is James L. Austin, which is a bright pink rose. It's really beautiful, smells amazing. And I have another rose in here. This one is Harlow Carr, which is pretty much done, except this one last rose of the season. A Harlow Carr, I transplanted it from the backyard, so this year it's a little bit smaller in size because it just got transplanted. And in this bed I have some red gladiolas. Red is kind of an accidental color. When I planted it, I could have sworn that it said pinks and purples on on the cover, but when it turned out, it's red. Anyway, I like it. Here I have some Dusty Miller that I let flower, and because I wanted to see what the flowers look like. I'd never seen their flowers before, and now I know. Clusters of little yellow flowers, which are really nice and cheerful. I like them. And I've got some hollyhocks here also. Oh, I saw this a few days ago, and I really like this double flower form too, guys, compared to the single flower form that I showed you in the backyard. Although, you know, like looking at it again, I have to say that I do like the single flower more, only because I think it's more showy. Not to say that this is not nice, but I kind of expected the flowers to be a little bit bigger than this. But they're still super nice. I kind of forget what this beautiful long tubular flower is called. And there's an early riser bee enjoying the nectar on it. This small delicate pink flowers, I just planted this a couple of months ago. I forget what they're called, but they're really beautiful, nice, delicate flowers. Love them. Gorgeous. In this bed I have a lot of salvia and lavender here, because this is supposed to be pollinator's paradise that I created for them, and some lavender are still going strong. Lavender is my favorite flower. Right here I have coneflower. Oh wow, looking really nice. Interesting to the touch. It's a little coarse. But this is a good pollinator attracting plant. Bees and butterflies love them. I've got some catmint over there. Now on the other side, let's take a look. Yay! I have my oriental lilies blooming. Oh my goodness. Take a look at that. As big as my palm. It's so gorgeous. Ah, this area is smelling wonderfully. Don't you love lilies? They are so showy, aren't they? And down here I've got two different varieties of Daphnes. So this is a super fragrant area in my yard. Right before you walk up my steps, you'll get to smell these beautiful flowers. And I've got more catmint down here and some more lavender, and then some more salvia. And right here, these bright colored flowers are bee balm, which is doing wonderful this year. It wasn't doing great last year, but it could also be because I had just divided it, and this year it's probably fully recovered. It's gorgeous. Down there I have annual geranium, just you know, to add a reliable pop of color. I just walked back inside and I saw that my little gem magnolia is also flowering. I just showed you flowers of Cape Harris magnolia. I'd like to show you a flower of little gem magnolia as well. They're very similar in shape and in color, and also in size. So I have two little gem magnolia trees, and I only have one Cape Harris magnolia. Oh wow, smells so wonderful. I love magnolia flowers. Alrighty, I think that's it for me today, guys. I should go back and finish watering my garden before it gets really hot. I hope you enjoyed watching these beautiful flowers with me today, and I hope you stay cool and hydrated during the summer. Have a wonderful day and happy gardening, everyone. Bye.